And we are back. So, who would like to recap what happened last week?
Intrigue.
Intrigue indeed did happen.
Yes.
Politics.
Lots of spicy inquisitorial discourse at the conclave, and some kind of back and forth conspiracy games between our retinue and I always forget the names.
Sutton's.
Yeah, Sutton's.
Yeah, Sutton is the interrogator. It's Hussar who is the...
Yeah, Hussar and Sutton.
I don't know. It just feels like it's Sutton's for some reason.
You've primarily dealt with him, though. That he's like your point of contact for the group.
Yeah. We got some info on them, and they also got some info from us by impersonating
Selena
Escher.
Yeah. Well, they only got that we were investigating Sutton.
Yeah, and then we managed to stonewall, at least to an extent, because we saw through and saw something was weird with how she was acting.
She smiled.
I went back to the base to check and see if she was there, and she was, even though she wanted to apparently meet us in the place of Mabob. So now we're all kind of on high alert.
Yep. And you had
There's some kind of a plan that had been come up with as well.
Yeah. You had also, when discussing how to best deal with the Ebony Syndicate, you had come up with the basics of a plan to have the Inquisition like be more basically like come out and say, yes, we are investigating the Ebony Syndicate, but at the same time focus on certain areas and not on other areas. I think that those like basically like the sections of the Escalian sector weren't being investigated, so the Ebony Syndicate felt that they were safer in those sections while you were simultaneously infiltrating them there.
Yeah, basically doing both halves of it at once, just using one to feed the other.
Yep.
And then I think we were forcing Hussar's have to diverge how they're doing this, kind of. Well, pushing toward that.
We got the Lord Inquisitor to upbraid him publicly, which he was sour about because he was the golden child.
Yep.
And we also have a contact within that inquisitorial cell who we can trust,
Alda?
who's working with. Yeah, and the new acolyte he's training to replace him as he ages out is apparently also trustworthy.
Yeah, so it's
doesn't expect to survive much longer.
Champerton is the this term is savant. He is the savant for Hussar's group, and Alda Thorn is his replacement because he's getting a little long in the tooth.
Well, his tooth might be hanging out at the rate what he thinks.
Yeah, he's not really that confident about what's going to happen to him. All right. I think that covers everything. I don't think there's anything else. And I'm looking at my notes too, and I don't see anything that you haven't covered. So we'll get started. So yeah, you had ended the day with that discussion and had done like the dinner. Yep, and you'd actually given the people there, the actual crew there, like a nice bottle of wine as thanks.
Oh yeah.
Not that was strictly the most important to the story, but it was nice. And so it is now the next morning. And from the breakfast you're at and the murmurs around, you kind of get the feeling this is the last morning that they're going, or like the last day that they're going to be discussing the actual plan to deal with the Ebony Syndicate. And they have more to discuss. More Inquisitors want to get back to work and don't want to just be stuck at the conclave for longer than they need to.
Mm-hmm.
So they have, it's just like the rumors you hear, pretty open, and nothing really that crazy going on from those rumors, because a lot of Inquisitors, you'd understand by now that they're very independent, and they like to more or less do their own thing. But yeah, so it's just a standard like breakfast you've gotten used to, like kind of nice breakfast. I know actually it's a really good breakfast from what you've been having. And you'd see like the rest of the Inquisitors there, Hellscythe, as well as Escher, and the other ones you've seen. You actually don't see Hussar showing up. He's late to breakfast, which is unusual for him.
Licking wounds.
Probably up to something.
All right. Did you want to talk to anybody or do anything before the start of the meeting?
Maybe touch base with Hellscythe. Kind of get our quote-unquote marching orders for the day, see if they've got any new appraisals for us.
All right, yeah, Hellscythe is there, and he's willing to talk. So if you just want to approach him and ask, what do you want to ask him specifically?
I guess if there's been any new developments or what he thinks of Hussar not being at the breakfast.
So he thinks for just a moment. Okay. Well, I haven't heard of any new developments. I've been keeping my ear to the ground as best I can. I always suspect Hussar is up to something, but he might just be giving a late showing as a protest, so to speak, but I think it's wise to approach this carefully.
So keep a low
You
profile.
think he's just kind of like put out that everybody got on his case during the conclave yesterday, and he's just making himself scarce this morning?
I'm not entirely sure. I would hope as an Inquisitor he'd be made of sterner stuff, but I suspect he has something in his back pocket. And we are going to have to be aware of
He has
it.
something in his back pocket as well.
Yeah. Beyond...
Heretical artifacts.
Keep... Gar, please keep that
Why are
down.
you like this?
Gar, let's keep this between us.
Right.
We have really no proof of that yet. No, beyond that, I do suspect he has some plan. Even if it's something minor for an Inquisitor could be devastating for you.
Right.
Well, let's get to the meeting. I think it's best to get through today. We also have the promotions to Inquisitor happening tomorrow.
Do you think you might be interfering with that?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not putting forward a recommendation for Selena to become an Inquisitor. I don't think he would support it. And if he did, I wouldn't want her to have the support of an Inquisitor who was later found to be dealing with demon hosts. It would shine a poor light on the rest of her career. So she's going to remain an interrogator for a bit longer, unfortunately.
Does she know
Probably
about this?
best.
I'm assuming she does.
I have discussed this with her, and actually, if you look around, you notice she's not there. She's kind of made scarce.
He's brooding.
She's not happy about this. I'll admit that, but she also understands my rationale behind this.
Well, maybe we can find something before the motions.
My concern is what happens if Sutton is put forward and receives the nod?
Yeah.
Side as an Inquisitor could lead to bad results. He's very loyal to Hussar, but as an Inquisitor himself, he would also have an extreme degree of freedom. This might be bad for Hussar if he couldn't hold becoming an Inquisitor over Sutton. But it really depends. I've noticed people who, once they become an Inquisitor, they change. Sometimes for the better, sometimes, most of the time, for the worse. I think it's wise we have to proceed as normal and deal with things as they come. It's the best way I've noticed for situations like this.
Alright.
Well, let's get to the meeting. Unless you have anything further to discuss.
Not much for it, I guess.
All right. And yeah, you actually notice like the people getting shepherded into the room to actually start the meeting again. And it's been basically what you've seen happen for the past few days, where the Lord Inquisitor starts the meeting, and they continued the planning session. But now it's actually a lot more focused and structured, where they're trying to get the details set of how they're going to start doing the infiltration of the Ebony Syndicate, as well as which Inquisitors are going to be handling the public section of it, where the Inquisition publicly announces that they're investigating the Ebony Syndicate, and what portions of the Ebony Syndicate are going to be under public scrutiny. And so it's just like a back and forth between various different Inquisitors. Inquisitor Lamar and Inquisitor... Okay, where are they? Here we are. Aubert. Inquisitor Lamar and Aubert are still sniping at each other. While Inquisitor Aubert got the upper hand for a bit, Lamar is taking it in stride, the fact that they're also having a section that's going to be focusing on the infiltration. So she is pointing out which systems and which Ebony Syndicate operations they're aware of that they want to infiltrate and they don't want to scrutinize. So they were able to come to... She's a lot more confident than she was yesterday. But it's a lot of systems that you heard in the reports getting mentioned. A lot of just different Ebony Syndicate operations they're aware of that they had been attempting to investigate. And Aubert is putting out a number of different ideas of where he wants to focus. You do actually see Inquisitor Hussar show up. He gets let in a little bit late, and Inquisitor Lamar goes and discusses with him because the Lord Inquisitor has put him in charge of the infiltration. So you kind of get this. You suspect that they're discussing that, but you're not sure.
Okay.
But it's very similar to what it was yesterday. And it just goes on with like the various plans and details getting discussed. And for the most part, nothing strictly that exciting happens, beyond what you've already dealt with. Did you want to do anything during the meeting? It's still the free brainstorming session.
Just keep an eye on people. Look for Sutton. See if he came in with Hussar, if he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, you see both Sutton and Hussar there. But that's to be expected from what you've gathered, that the interrogator and the Inquisitor would be
together.
Yeah, especially because Sutton does appear to be his number one interrogator. Mm. But eventually, a few hours pass and they break for lunch. So you go out and to eat lunch. And you see the Inquisitors, interrogators, and the members of the retinue and the Acolytes just discussing with one another. At this point, it's just become routine from what you've expected. But if you don't want to do anything for lunch during the lunch, we can actually just go forward to the next portion of it.
I guess we did kind of get our payload in terms of guiding the inquisitorial plan and upsetting the power structure. So unless we want to go for the J'accuse, which I don't think we want to go for, we're probably in... Best thing to do is keep our heads down, like Hellside said.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll fast forward. So if lunch ends, the rest of the meeting goes forward, you get more of the details down, and the Lord Inquisitor then declares that they have enough of a plan in place. They've selected the systems that they want to have be the public face of the inquisitorial investigation, just in case an Inquisitor... Basically, they don't want to step on any other Inquisitor's toes. They don't want to ruin a infiltration or an investigation.
Yep.
So they just select a small group of operations they're aware of, that they are going to basically show up with, like, probably Sisters of Battle is what they've been discussing, and just publicly, like, arrest and execute the people involved and go out and just say, yes, we are the Inquisition, we are investigating this group, and which sections and systems and operations are going to be left alone to be infiltrated and investigated subtly. So, they basically go through all that. The Lord Inquisitor declares it the end, that they are no longer going to be discussing this, that they're going to be the actual like sphere point in the investigation, and that they will be starting with any promotions from interrogator to inquisitor starting tomorrow morning. Then he calls the end of the session, and the meeting, like the doors to the meeting hall open up, and you go back in for dinner. And there's a lot of like buzz. A lot of inquisitors are very excited about what's going on. They're have formulating plans with their retinue. You see some inquisitors who are a little upset, trying their best not to show it, for thinking that they've kind of gotten they're getting assigned to like missions and investigations they don't really want to do, and they should have a lot more freedom. But
where did our team land in the planning?
Your team has been set to infiltration.
Okay.
But Hellscythe does come up to you and just mentions that while you'll be doing the infiltration still, he does have a few operations available that are going to be the public face, especially as a witch hunter. It's kind of expected of him to go out and hunt down heretics, so he will be actually part of the public face of the investigation while also handling like infiltration. He has a large enough web that he can do both.
Okay.
So with that, just goes through dinner. A lot more alcohol gets passed around, especially because it's the end. But you do see a number of people some who are drinking a little heavily. You see a number of interrogators who are not, and you kind of get the idea that they are the ones who are looking forward to promotion tomorrow.
Trying to keep a clear head.
Yeah.
So, are there any others we don't know about? Anybody noteworthy that it matters that we should care that they're getting promoted tomorrow?
You could ask around and see. A lot of people who
mingle a bit, see who's not drinking.
Yeah. So go ahead and make an inquiry test. Just kind of like mingle and make small talk with people.
Let's see, character sheet.
That's here somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gar, you're just not able to really find anything out. Yep.
Let's start using fate.
Yeah, unfortunately, we still don't have an inquiry person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fade it.
Okay.
Sure. Good.
Incidentally, if I had the points to actually have put one in, I would have passed.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, Gar, you're just really blunt.
Yeah.
Just go up this thing. Are you being promoted? Are you being promoted to Inquisitor tomorrow? And people just get like a little like off put by how blunt you are, and it's like
they get a little squirrely and go away.
And some of them you kind of.
If you're a cop, you have to tell me.
Are you an Inquisitor? If you're an Inquisitor.
Are you a drug dealer? If you're a drug dealer, you have to tell me. I want to buy.
And you also kind of get the idea that maybe some of the people you've been talking to are actually up for promotion, and it's a bit of a sore spot for them.
Ooh.
Now they are insulted.
Oh well, suck it up.
Yeah. Get
But
over it.
so Gar, yeah, you're just not able to really find out who is looking at promotion tomorrow.
You have upset many people.
Oh well.
You have hurt their butts.
All right. I'm just concerned that we're not going to be able to find a way to expose Sutton and Hussar.
Yeah.
Did you want
It
to
might be
do?
that it has to come later.
Well, did you want to do any investigation of it? He does have. You know, he has quarters on board the station Hecate you're on.
We can look, though we were told that he's keeping the book either on his person or in his personal quarters, like probably on his ship,
Like on
where
his
it's
ship,
more
yeah.
secure.
Okay.
I'm just not sure.
Everything's all pretty locked down, you know. Like,
And you do see like Champernon around as well. If you wanted to speak with him, like you see the entirety of Hussar's retinue.
We do know Champernon is being watched, so we gotta
be very careful contacting him in any way.
Yeah.
We should talk to Thorn.
You see Alderthorn as well, yes.
Yeah, we could do that. I guess under the pretense of friendly small talk, because we had that aside to talk about the public record stuff where he passed me the notes initially, so we can pretend we're following up on that like a normal chit chat.
Okay. All right. So you want to like just talk to Alderthorn then?
Yeah, I'll come over like, oh, you must be Alda. We haven't met properly yet, but Champernon spoke very highly of you, that sort of thing.
Oh yes, yes, of course. Acolyte Toke, I believe. Yeah, yes. Champernon spoke of you. He's mentioned and says that you've worked well together, and that we can, rely on our acolyte teams to help one another.
Yes, I think so. So, where did your particular team wind up in the infiltrate versus escalate plan?
We are members of the infiltration team, and we're going to be handling the subtle infiltration section. Unfortunately, my job is merely to find out information and process information concerning the Ebony Syndicate, but I'm glad I don't have to be put in harm's way.
So, is Champernon kind of hovering nearby, or is she on her own while we're talking?
Yeah, Champernon is just talking to other people, but you do kind of see him like looking over to Alderthorn as she's talking to you every once in a while, kind of keeping an eye on things. But he is probably about 10 meters away.
Okay.
Is that stutter part of her character, or were you just like...
Yeah, I'm giving her like a little bit of like a nervous character. I'm trying to not do it so much she sounds like Porky Pig, but...
Yeah, I was just wanted to be sure like that was just supposed to be part of her character.
Makes sense, especially if she's not generally, combat crew. Well, Champernon did say you're somebody we could trust, which I feel like is kind of a significant, specific word to use to an Inquisitor, because none of us trust anybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Champernon is a good savant. I'm happy to be training under him. And actually, while she's saying this, you see Sutton arrive, and he sees you talking to Alderthorn, and she marches immediately up to you.
Ah. Hello, Sutton.
Thorn, you aren't to speak to them, and I don't want you talking to her either. And he just doesn't touch her, but he very subtly guides her away from you. And he just looks back, I mean it, don't speak to her again. And just leaves, and just guides her back to the section of the station where Hussar has the quarters.
I feel like we should shift our tactics to playing really mean pranks on these guys. I don't like them.
Home Alone tactics.
I want to put spiders and snakes in their beds. I want to drop things on their heads. Yeah.
things like hammers.
That
Yeah,
was
bucket full of hammers. Yeah, yeah.
that was informative.
It makes me think that he doesn't trust her as much as he wouldn't trust the other one.
Yeah, his level of distrust is at maximum right now, it seems.
Paranoia. Could it be because it's us though?
I mean, yeah, we have sort of been
sticking our
intentionally
dick in the mashed potatoes for him, yes, but that was still a pretty dire break of kayfabe, considering how polite and buddy he was up through now.
Yes,
But
he's not hiding.
yeah, and you actually see a number of people have, because he raised his voice, and a number of people have looked over this and seen this like altercation occur. And
I mean, that's not helping his image at all.
Champernon has even seen this, and kind of interrupts his talk to just like look over all this and see like Thorn getting walked away before he goes back to his conversation. But he's kind of like looking to the side. He's not really paying attention to the person he's talking to anymore.
I don't want to just march on over to him because that would be kind of suspicious. But I'll kind of give him a look, and if we happen to make eye contact, I'll give him like the "what the fuck was that" body language, as if I'm like, "What the hell's wrong with your interrogator?" Like as if there's no other significance other than you hang out with him. What's his deal? You know what I mean?
And he gives a shake of the head, and then he kind of like
the Dwayne Johnson like eyebrow. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, he just like shakes the head a little bit, and then he just kind of breaks off from the person he's talking to, and just goes and kind of stands by himself, like getting some food and drinking some wine, but not really talking to anybody else, and kind of like brushing off anybody who comes near him. But for the most, after that. While everyone's a little weirded out by it, they have just gone back to talking. It's just sometimes things like this happen during an Inquisitorial conclave. They're just glad a little weird. They're just glad to like escalate further.
People get mired. But yeah, that's telling, and I kind of do want to try infiltrating into his quarters. We may not be able to do it tonight because they'll all be there, but maybe we could do it tomorrow morning.
That, and they're probably now a little more wary, like, for the immediate.
Yeah, maybe we can like break into their shit while they're doing promotions. Or something.
My shit.
All right. But the rest of the evening goes more or less how you'd suspect. It actually lasts a little bit later than the previous nights had. But eventually everybody retires into their rooms. Hellscythe and Escher head back to the ship.
All right, so we need a break into this guy's room plan.
Yeah, and you have you have the quarters on, like I believe you've been staying on Hellscythe's ship. You like.
Yeah, for our safety especially.
Yep. So you're able to come up like if you want to discuss anything with Hellscythe himself, you could.
Yeah, I'll break that down and just mention how very quick he was to snap, which seems like an unusual break of character considering how things have gone so far, and mention we might want to send one or two people to take a look through their quarters while we still have a chance.
Yeah, Hellscythe just it's a good idea. I was thinking that myself. He does keep people at his quarters to ensure security, but it's nothing that can't be dealt with.
What if we pull a fire alarm?
You just activate fire suppression systems, but I have actually had some people go by and take a look at his quarters. He's going to have at least two guards on the outside. I'm not sure how many people on the inside, but I would recommend finding a way to do it subtly. You don't want to get caught in an Inquisitor's quarters. I could protect you to an extent, but it would not only cause trouble with the Inquisition for you, it would also tip show him our hand, what we have in mind. From what I can gather, he's suspicious, but he doesn't know what we know. And you also might want to talk to some of the people on his team. From what I've seen today, it doesn't seem like he trusts some members of his team. Everyone saw the incident with Alda Thorn. But I'll leave this up to you. I have to remain...
Would his acolytes have access to his quarters?
Oh yes, his acolytes are in the quarters with him. They are in that section together.
All right, so seems to me like they're our way in. Like we may not even want to go in ourselves. Like we need to turn Alda or somebody and get them to do our dirty work.
You're not wrong, but
I just don't see us getting in.
Yeah,
You know,
lots of variables.
maybe some really lucky rolls. Maybe we get in and don't blow up our whole spot.
Yeah, or we get like one shitty set of rolls and then just the whole thing blows open.
Yeah.
Yep, and we know what's
Especially
going to
'cause,
happen.
More rolls is more chances at failure.
Yeah.
What's the saying? The wolf only has to get lucky once.
It's definitely going to be a tricky situation, which if I know that you have the ability to do it in one way or another, but I also know that these things can go wrong very quickly. So anything you could do that would focus on subtlety would be for the best. But we'll proceed. I'm going to trust you on this, and I'm going to remain at a distance to try and distance myself, just because I suspect that Hussar is keeping a watch on me. I've seen some of his acolytes, some of his guards around keeping watch on me, and I suspect they may also keep an eye on you as well, but less so. So I'll do what I can to draw anything away from you. So let me know if I can assist you in any way, and I will do it as I can.
All right. I think you're right about trying to get the one of his acolytes to help us, because
Maybe we could use our kitchen staff friends to get a communication to one of them to meet us in a place where we can talk.
yeah, maybe like send them another gift with no hard feelings ? In a meeting place.
We'd have to make sure it got to.
The right person, yeah.
You gotta
Order
be careful. I don't think Alda would be the one you want to go to in
No,
this case.
Alda he's definitely going to have an eye on. Maybe Champernon, but I don't know who else on that team is trustworthy. So maybe Champernon.
Well, it looks
I
like
mean,
you...
he's assuming he's gonna get caught and killed anyway, so maybe we kind of burn him. And
I mean, we could
It's
even do it
fucked
with
up,
his foreknowledge. We could be like, hey, if this goes wrong, you might need to take the fall on this, but it's a matter of an Inquisitor summoning demon hosts and shit. He sounds like he understands the stakes pretty well.
Yeah. All right, so let's try and get something to him. I'm sure they can tell us, the workers can tell us where we can talk and not be monitored. Perhaps even down in the kitchens or something.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that myself.
Have them say, hey, we've got this thing for you. You need to come pick it up down in the kitchen. It's a cake. Or something.
Man, I would totally leave my
Really
board
heavy.
for cake.
Something.
A badass cake.
Then we can really impress upon him that this needs to happen right now before we lose our chance.
All
He's
right.
got to either find that shit or figure out where it is and tell us, or
You also would have to make sure that it's not
infiltrate it.
that doppelganger person.
Yeah.
All right. So
Well, for it to be the doppelganger person, they would have to kind of know we were about to try this and be ready for it.
Unless they intercepted it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
Interception.
Right. Well, I guess those are the risks of spycraft.
Yeah, there's only so many variables you can control.
All right. So it looks like you have so you were all discussing this with Hellscythe. Like, so it seems you have a plan in place. Did you want to do this tonight, or wait until tomorrow during the meeting? You don't have to be in the meeting, as it will just be promotions for Inquisitors.
It might allay suspicion if we are in the meeting, and we get this arranged tonight, and then maybe Champernon can take care of it during the meeting while we have our alibi.
Because they will be watching us. If we're missing, they're going to be expecting that.
I think that's the best case, yeah. Best version.
All right. Excellent plan. All right. It looks like you have it in place, so do what you need to. I will be on the ship, and you have my microbead comm directly if you need me. And I'm going to be up for a few more hours, but you also have Escher if you need to rely on anyone.
Okay.
And so he kind of just like...
we're gonna, before he goes to bed, we're gonna need another bottle of the secret stash wine to lubricate this plan.
Yeah, he like opens up a panel in his room and like pulls out like a really nice bottle of wine.
Ah, thank you.
And you see he's got like a few dozen of these things, like just all in a, like the shelf, like the kind of beehive-looking shelf.
Hashtag just inquisitorial things.
He's always ready.
He's always ready. Which is funny because you don't really see him drink that often.
Just means they're better when he does.
He just wants it to age.
Oh, he just has these things to possess them.
He has them because he has them because he never knows when he has to bribe someone with nice wine.
Exactly.
Actually, honestly, probably that's the reason. That's what you suspect. And funny enough, that's actually what you're doing with them, to be honest.
Come to my bribery closet. What would you like?
You know what? That's gonna be a goal. Just like have a bribery closet in my house.
Well, that's for whoever. That's for whoever.
Bribery, any bribery, just one.
I mean, if you think about it, if you get high enough up and corrupt enough, you probably it's like regifting. You probably have like items that you get bribed with, you can then bribe people with in turn. You can kind of keep a rotation going, and thus you have a bribery closet.
The circle of bribes will never end.
I think this is a life goal for all of us.
You're not a full-fledged Inquisitor until you are gifted or re-gift something that you've already received before.
Right.
Like it goes back to its original owner or something.
Like maybe a bag made like a really nice.
Yeah, like a really nice
case made of xenohide.
The genetic lock.
All right, so he hands you the bottle of wine.
Well, let's get greasy.
Take it and go.
Maybe we can play it off as if we need to, like if they're like, oh man, this is bullshit, we can be like, look, our bosses found out that we found you guys and they immediately made us try to use it. So we argued, they didn't give us a choice, but we brought you this as apologies for getting you wrapped up in the reindeer games. If they feel like they're kind of suspicious of us.
All right, so you'd be talking to the so you're going to the kitchen staff like right now then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless anybody else had any other ideas.
No ideas. I think it's just pretty much a straight hallway at this point.
So yeah, going to the kitchen. You don't actually see any of the people you'd worked with previously. This is like the late night shift. And they would just be around in case anybody had like a
late night order.
This would be even later because they had delivered food at like near midnight. These guys would be like late night into like real late night into early morning.
Actually, the first shift. The guys that go in at 3 and start baking.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It's like, don't normally see anybody up this late. How can we help you?
We were hoping we could get a gift sent along to another member of the conclave.
Sure. Will be. I'm assuming you want to send this out now.
Yes.
If we
Time
could.
is of the essence.
I'm gonna scrutinize this guy just to make sure that it actually is kitchen staff and not like they've been watching us do this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Might as well be paranoid for the sake of paranoia.
Yeah, sure.
Can
Go
I
ahead and
also
make
be
a
par-
scrutiny
can I-
roll.
Never mind.
Hooray!
Ooh,
I
nice.
was gonna say, can I also be paranoid? But I've been out paranoided.
You don't get any weird vibes off of this guy. You're pretty sure he's like on a level,
Okay.
and he just doesn't want to like upset any like acolytes or who like will become a future Inquisitor possibly.
Oh yeah.
So
Just let him know we're sorry about the bull. Do we want to give him the wine as an apology?
you could if you'd like.
What do you guys think?
Well, let's make our request and then show him the wine.
Yeah.
Let's be like, all right, so we
We appreciate your hard work.
we need to get a communication to someone, and we need to talk with them privately. And we were thinking, down here in the kitchens might be a good place. Do you think you could go, perhaps contact this person and let them know to meet us here without being observed or noticed by anyone but the intended recipient? And of course, at this point, the guy's going to start getting nervous.
Yeah, make a persuasion check or a charm. Make a charm to like
And that's when we show him the wine.
make. All right, yeah, make a charm test with a. Oh, I was going to say +10.
That
That would
would
make it a pass by 1.
Yeah.
just pass.
It would just be a pass, and he's not. You get the very obvious, like, you're really sure he does not want to get involved with this, but at the same time, this is like a bottle of wine that he has only seen and never tasted, and his eyes like just kind of focusing on it. He thinks for a second. He's like doing the mental calculations on like how he wants to like before he eventually. Yeah, we could arrange something like that, and he just takes the wine from you. Who are we getting a message to?
We were gonna do Champernon, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you would know where Hussar is staying, so you just tell him, it's like, you want to get one of Inquisitor Hussar's staff? No, you're brave. You're certainly brave.
Brave,
And
desperate.
We're many things.
he calls forward like a younger member of the team. It's like, what message would you like? Do you want to put on a data slate? Do you want to just write it on a piece of paper? Or how do you want to do this?
I was thinking we could do another delivery of food, like a gift bottle of wine for, and especially because of that whole outburst in the middle of the place today, just no hard feelings ? And then like maybe put a meeting place, with it.
Yeah, it's like send him a pie. Everyone likes pie.
He gets out like a platter, puts on like a pie, like a cheap bottle of wine, and gives it to the guy with it's like, just, I guess, write the note and we'll put it underneath the pie.
Okay.
And so you just write, like, I'm assuming, now was it data slate or was it piece of paper? Or was it some other method that you would like get this information to Champernon?
It would be safest if our delivery person could speak the message to Champernon.
All right, and you just want to let him know to go to the kitchen you were previously discussing?
Yes, the deepest, darkest kitchens, 4:30 a.m.
We have a kitchen supply room that most
Yes.
people don't go to. Okay. All right.
That one.
So the guy you're talking to tells the younger member of the staff all this and sends him on his way. It's like, all right, well, thanks for the wine, I guess.
Enjoy
And-
that. It came from an Inquisitor.
Oh, yeah, he knows.
Yes, he's not gonna come for you
deep
or the wine.
exhale.
The case of the very nice bottle.
You are a chosen one, my friend.
Hey, keep this under your hat, and there might be more bottles of wine for you in the future, with or without requests.
Don't
All
keep
right.
it under your hat, and you'll be dead by the end of your shift tomorrow.
Well, somebody might be.
Yeah. Supply room you want is that way, and he just leaves.
Guard's like, I make friends and influence people.
Yes.
Kinda. I mean, you influence people.
Definitely the second part.
How big is this supply room?
It's pretty big. It's like what you'd expect. It's about the same size as that like meeting room where you could have all spent like tricked by rule, but it's full of like shelving, so it looks a little bit smaller than it really is, and it's just like
I'm going to
boxes.
inspect any door locks and maybe
Yeah, I was thinking like
like basically like safe house style shakedown.
Oh yeah, go ahead and make a security roll to just see if you can like find
How am I
anything.
not trained in security at this point?
can I assist him with this?
Yeah. You could make.
Please do. I'm rolling flat with a no training penalty, so. Ow.
Yeah, watchmaker. You just it looks like a very standard supply room. You can't see
Okay.
anything like out of the ordinary with it.
The door doesn't like lock from the outside, so we can't get Montresord, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so Tigo, you're able to figure out, like, you're able to look around. The door locks, but you were given, like, access to it, and it opens up, so you can't get locked inside of it. You also, like, search around. You don't see any, like, bugs.
Secret passages.
No secret
tunnel
passages. There's security cameras. Like, there's security cameras all around.
Yeah.
And there is a security camera here. But you're able to like find it very easily, so if you wanted to like cover it up in some way, you could. And it's just like something stuck up on the ceiling.
Do we want to cover that security camera?
Is there any way we can aim or like any place in the room that's safe from it, or would it just catch anybody going in and coming out?
It's looking directly at the door, and if you wanted to be out of sight of it, you'd have to stand underneath it. Basically, it's like in the back corner across from the door.
Then yeah, we
would
probably will need to either cover it or spoof the feed to just show blank for a while.
All right. It'd be very easy to cover it. Doing a spoofed feed would require like a tech use, and it's inquisitorial grade, so it'd be the -10.
That would put my roll chance at for tech use. Not very good, because yeah, it would be with a -10. I would have a 1 in 5 chance.
Give it a shot. If not, we'll cover it.
Well, my worry is if we try to spoof it and fail, then that'll send an alert to the security monitoring.
Yes. So if you fail bad enough, then you know our luck.
Yeah. And I can only re-roll it once, so I get 20% chances, and cost of failure could be pretty dire. Maybe what we can do is not cover it until Champernon shows up, so we have the maximum amount of time before somebody notices something's out of whack, and then just stay out of the way of the camera until then. What do you guys think? I kind of think the analog approach might honestly be the best.
I was gonna say, is there something we could push that is large that would cover the camera temporarily while all parties involved got in, and then we would move it?
You do see like a cart, and there's a number of boxes that are on the cart. They are set mostly so you like the person pushing it can see above it, but if you wanted to, like you could alter the way like the boxes are stacked.
Want to do that?
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best.
Kind of do like a rearranging, block the camera, everybody gets in, do a little bit of rearranging, unblock the camera.
Yeah, so if you just like basically put all the boxes one on top of another so they form like a little tower and then just push it in front of the camera, kind of thing. Yeah, that's easy enough. It doesn't require a roll because it's meant to be moved. So the boxes get put on the cart, get pushed in front of the camera, and whoever is watching through the camera can no longer see what's going on in there.
That's something.
Sorry, sir, we didn't know there was a camera there.
But he did see Tigo in the storeroom stacking boxes for some reason.
But does the camera have sound?
You're not sure. You'd have to investigate it further.
Let's assume it does, and we'll
Yeah.
we'll
Close the door like if I had just left.
or something.
Okay.
Yeah, we can close the door and we can communicate by writing.
All right. So you close the door, and you wait for Champernon. So Champernon shows up like probably about 15 minutes after you've finished doing this entire situation, and knocks on the door. Like, hello, you wanted to speak to me? It's Champernon. You wanted to speak? Yeah, you just kind of like shush him.
Shut up.
First off, I'll hold up a hand for silence and I'll point up at where the camera is, and I guess we can write back and forth with a data slate. I guess I'll start with, can you prove you're not the Keylexus? I think it was Keylexus assassin, right?
I think it's a Calidus. I think the
Calidus,
yeah. He writes back. Let's see here. What could he? How would you like me to prove I'm not? I'm not Rule.
What did we discuss? What did we discuss yesterday? Because we didn't discuss anything yesterday.
We didn't have a conversation yesterday. You spoke with Alda Thorne.
Okay. Day before that? Question mark.
He writes back. I don't think we had a discussion the day before yesterday. I think our last conversation was 4 days ago.
Out of character. Is that true?
I'm thinking it is, yeah, because
Okay.
I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure it was like 4 days ago, just before the actual.
Several days of meetings
Yeah.
have gone by. since
Okay.
we-
Okay.
It's definitely been at least 4 days.
So it seems like he's at least answering legit.
Yes.
Then okay, I'll nod and just I guess we can give him the rundown and explain that we need to try to toss his quarters before the end of the conclave.
This is the 0 hour. If we're going to find any evidence, we need to find it now. And he's our only in.
Just writes back. I can stay behind during the next meeting. What should I look for?
Well, he knows about the book because he was the one who warned us about that. So we don't have to mention that, but if this is Rule, which I mean, again, there's only so much we can do to mitigate this. If it is, I guess just anything questionable, anything out of place, anything you don't immediately recognize or understand, things that might point towards either open investigation or proof.
Yeah, priorities being anything to do with the demon host and anything to do with the location of where he's keeping the book.
He writes back, I will look for what I can.
Also, pictures and other documentary evidence would be ideal.
Find me pictures of Spider Heretic.
I will. Just writes back, I will search for what I'm able to.
Not aspect. Obviously can't offer you protection, but is there anything we can do for you during this?
He thinks for a moment. Writes back, do what you can to protect Alda.
Okay. I'll nod and I'll.
You hear a knock at the door.
A knock?
Open up.
Do we recognize the voice?
No.
Probably security then.
Security opens up the door.
Have we had time to scoot or?
No. This is like a room that like there's only one entrance exit.
Gotcha.
It's like one of the camera feeds got blocked. And he like points to like the stack of boxes you would put up. He's like, yeah, specifically that. What are you doing in here?
Not looking for more pie.
Inventory?
I get some pie.
Look, if,
Directed this way. Sorry about the boxes. We'll get them out of the way for you right now.
Yeah, don't steal from the Inquisition. I know that you're Acolytes, but you're not Inquisitors yet. And honestly,
You're right.
most of you probably are never
Oh,
going to be.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling security protocols.
Actually, I want you to make, anybody wants to make a deception roll to see if you can, like, convince him otherwise, that, like, to convince him you actually were stealing. Do this with a +10 because he comes in basically with a preconceived notion that you were, like, attempting to steal.
What is it? Deception?
Deception,
Yeah.
yep.
I got it. Hopefully.
Yeah. Go, Gar, go.
Why is it not working?
Oh, is it behind the thing? Sometimes it's the little box go behind the character sheet.
Oh, I got the little box.
Oh.
Isn't it?
Yeah, no, my deceive isn't working either.
Let me try mine then.
Maybe the sheet broke again. It's just a fellowship test, right?
Yeah, mine didn't go either.
Okay, so I'll be
Two
rolling
boxes.
fellowship at a -10.
I do have a
Plus 10, -20.
I do have a 10% modifier.
Two boxes is +10, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
And then you'd get another +10 on top of that.
Do 1d 100 plus 20.
I think I got it, guys.
Nice.
It hasn't shown up yet for me.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Oh yeah, you got an 8 there. That'll work. Solved it.
That's weird. Stupid character sheet's breaking. Roll20's being
It's
a little
alright.
weird lately. Okay, yeah. Yep. You're very easily able to... He also rolled really bad. You're able to very
Bad card.
easily... like, just trick him into thinking you were, like, stealing
Food.
food. Yep.
Like,
But-
we've just got a whole stack of frozen pies.
It's like, you can just ask the kitchen staff for pie. They'll get you some.
I already did, and I didn't want to make it awkward, and...
Leave, and we'll
My
end it.
dad.
Just go back to your rooms. We'll call it an evening. Actually, you know what? We're going to escort you back to your rooms.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to get that those boxes first?
He has like one of the guards with him just like move the cart.
We're already out of the room though, right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And so he sends one guard to go escort Champerton back to Hussar's quarters, like the section of the station that they're staying at. And the guards are going to escort you back to the section of the station you've been assigned. All right. I don't want to catch you out again, so I better not see you tonight.
But you see me right now.
Yep.
Just get in the damn ship.
I'm drunk.
Yeah. Do you want to tell, like, he's actually escorted you back to your quarters on the station. Did you want to, like, tell him you're going to the ship?
Yeah.
Probably.
All right, so he sends you back, like, the guards back to the ship, and Hellsight's guards see you there. It's like, we'll take him from here. It's like, I don't want to see them on the station again until tomorrow morning, all right? Actually, he thinks for a second. Or, well, at least until breakfast of this morning. And then
Sleep anyway.
guards there is like, you caused a little bit of trouble, didn't you?
You've been sneaking puddings.
We are naughty.
You know what? You know what? We give some of the guards pies we snuck out.
Did you, like,
Nah.
they
No.
well, they wouldn't have let you like, take any of the frozen pies, but if you wanted to, you could do like,
You would have made me do a stealth check anyway.
yeah, it's like it's sleight of hand, right?
It's like, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, if you want to do a sleight of hand, you could to steal a pie.
Roll to see if you pie, and if so, how hard.
I'm kind of curious to see if I would have passed. Oh no.
Yeah, just do a
You
sleight
get
of
critical
hand.
success, and you get away with 40. That's as many as 4 10s, and that's terrible.
Does
It doesn't. It's not going.
what the fuck? Roll 20. It's happening for everyone too, so it has to be the sight. All right,
it's
just roll.
agility.
Yeah, just roll your agility plus whatever bonuses you have.
It's agility. I'm just kind of curious.
Base characteristic rolls are working. Nice.
It's the pie for everybody.
Hooray!
He's gonna do inventory like son of a bitch.
Yes, you're able to sneak one frozen pie.
One? Is that really? Isn't that 2 degree? No, that's 1, right?
It's also a opposed. So you
It
basically
also may not be like 1 pie per degree of success.
Yeah.
Dang it. I want pie.
You got pie.
How big are these pies?
yeah, you got more degrees of success than he did, like the guard.
How much pie? How big is this pie?
It's like a little pie.
Here, guys.
Oh, a frozen pie. Thank you.
I'll definitely eat this after it isn't frozen anymore.
Could you? Why don't you just?
We're gonna go to bed.
I don't know what to do with this pie, to be honest.
Well, it's yours now.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your hard work.
I am no longer sure you're pretending to be drunk.
The guard's just like kind of really confused about this. You just hand him a frozen pie. Did you really almost get shot over a frozen pie?
Shrug.
As far as you know, yes.
Well, I'm mistaken. You wouldn't get shot. They'd shove you out an airlock.
Much cheaper that way.
Yeah. Save some. Save the cost of the bullet. All right.
This is a very important pie if you think about it. Like out of character.
You know what we should do? If he doesn't want it, we should give it to fucking Selena. Sorry you didn't get Inquisitor. Oh god, you know what we could do? Hang on, let me find it again.
We still love you.
We should send her a gift of some kind.
Hang on.
At least a card. Sympathy card.
Sorry you didn't make Inquisitor. You will have unlimited authority to do whatever you want next time. Oh yeah.
I must find this fucking thing.
Wait,
Did it just go off?
it just went off. Well, we already discussed this anyway. Although that critical fail would be funny as hell. So, although I'm a little curious now, thinking about it.
Let me try it again.
Okay, I'm gonna have to dig it up through Discord. I specifically have a thing we need to put on the pie before we give it to her.
All right.
Okay,
All right. Well,
working
it's
now.
working now. That's weird. It was like not for a second. Either way, you already did the roll. Although that critical
What if
fail
there was,
sleight of
like latency on their side.
it's definitely weird. It was affecting everybody, even me, but
Yeah, I think there was latency on their side, maybe? I don't know.
most likely. That's annoying. Aw, I wanted that critical fail sleight of hand. That would have been
Would have
funny.
been funny.
Like the guards just immediately like march Tigo over to an airlock. It's like goodbye.
You can't do
Be a
that.
sudden
we
ignominious
go.
end.
Then I would have pushed him down the airlock.
There
No.
we go. It took me this long to find it, but I think you'll agree.
Is that in
It's in the group chat.
Okay, I'll take a look in just a second. Is this safe for work?
Yes.
Yes.
My condolences. Yeah.
My condolences. Very good.
Have that
We're
on the
caring-
pie.
We're caring people. The steel pie.
He's like, when I become Inquisitor, I'm getting all of you fucking flayed alive.
That's fair. Alright, so I like this. While you are still high off of stealing a pie,
High of
the
case of the very
The
stolen
heist
pie.
of the very nice Peist.
a pie theft high. You order a pie for Selena with this written on it. You have our condolences.
With a drawing of a gondolier.
You tell the chef, like, one of the chefs this on the like Hellside's shift, and he's like, he knows Selena's like, are you sure? Are you
We could just say it came from Sutton.
Oh my
are
God.
are you really sure you want to go with that? And
I
say
look
it
at
was
this
from
guy.
Sutton?
I look at that chef and say, "You keep my name off this."
All right, we'll get the pie ready and
You keep my name
This
off
is-
this.
This is how we get the bad end at the very end of the campaign. We pissed off Selena with my condolences.
My name is not on that pie. This is what my pie stealing causes.
You have successfully told the head chef, what you want. He's like, all right, we'll get this to Selena with my condolences on it and the picture of the gondola.
And he leaves Tiggle's name off.
We're not signing it.
Because she knows exactly who it is.
Signed everybody but Tigo.
Everybody gets shot but Tigo.
And with that, it's probably about like 3 a.m. like Earth time. So it's pretty like, it's not even like late at night. It's like early in the morning.
Hey guys,
Or
it's time for
go get breakfast.
It's time for breakfast. Let's go frolic on the fucking place and get pissed off again.
So are you just... Yeah. I'm assuming you're probably done for the evening, so I'll have you like hit the hay and then wake up for like 8 a.m. for the breakfast.
Yeah.
So you get a few hours of sleep. It's nothing too crazy, and you're used to like weird night shifts, so... It is the next morning. It's breakfast. Basically what you've been doing. It's actually becomes pretty routine now. People talking, mingling, having their recaf, eating their food. You got a seat at a table, and you're just eating your food. And Selena comes up to you, sits down with a big plate of food. It's like, just stares quietly for a moment. I guess I should thank you for the pie. Everyone, including Tigo.
I was against this idea to piss you off.
She just shakes her head and leaves.
We love you, Selena.
Wait, do I still have the frozen pie? I can be like, do you want this one instead?
No, you gave that to the guard at the gate.
Damn.
Or like the front of the ship.
I would see. My original thought was, if they didn't want the frozen pie, we give it to the onboard chef and have him bake it, and then have him add my condolences to the frozen pie.
My condolences. No, you gave the frozen. Like the guard didn't know what to do with it, but he did take your pie. The chef just whipped up a pie for Selena. He like.
Oh, that's even fucking stupider. I'm gonna owe everybody in this campaign a bottle of wine by the time this is done.
In a pie. God.
And the other thing you notice is Selena is no longer wearing like the witch hunter garb. She's no longer wearing like that long storm cloak. She no longer has on like the witch hunter hat. She's back to her standard armored body glove with her like weapon harness, just sans weapons. And she's like, I'm heading back to the ship. I'm taking a bottle of wine from Heresy stash, and I think I'm gonna just finish that off in about an hour's time. Thank you, you three. This new plan is just because of what happened last night from you, and the pie. She just shakes her head and leaves.
I might have just gotten us all killed. I still say it was worth it.
Yeah.
Hellsight comes up to you. I must say, that went about as well as expected. My condolences, really?
I'm pretty sure Gar and Tiger are just like pointing at Watchmaker.
At least the chef knew which pie she likes. It doesn't matter. Let's just go into the meeting.
Oh my. Yes. We will be in the meeting looking very honest and forthright, not like we're up to no good.
Yeah, so breakfast comes to an end, and you just get Shepard, everyone gets moved into the meeting room, and doors close. Make an awareness check real quick. Make it like a +20, because it's nothing like crazy hidden.
Okay. Awareness isn't working, so I'm gonna roll perception at a plus 40.
Damn you, freaking.
Hey, it might work, but I still
40.
fail.
That's weird.
Mine's
Wait,
is also at
plus
a
30, I think.
Mine's is at a plus 40.
Target 0.
Did you roll
That's not
100?
right.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
I
a
did
plus
a-
plus, yeah.
Okay, well, I succeeded by 1 point, so.
Wait, that's your athletics.
I passed.
Wait, Tika, that's
Oh,
athletics.
I'm crazy. That's all. But
Well,
then I almost did athletics again, just so you know. It's not working.
What the hell? Alright, whatever. Just roll like the flat D100. We'll just do the math in our brains. Old school, sort of. Roll 20. What's going on, man? Okay, perfectly fine.
And that's a plus 40, so.
Yeah, you're fine. It's not anybody attempting to stay hidden, but you do see Sutton and Hussar and the rest of the Acolytes with Champernon and Alderthorn missing.
Okay.
Both missing, huh?
Maybe Sutton ordered her to stay on the ship for today.
Hopefully.
But, so it's the rest of this, like, but the rest of the staff is there, and that you've grown accustomed to, as well as so Hellscythe is there, and Selena Escher does actually come
Oh,
in.
it just came out.
That is weird. Roll 20. What's going on, man? That is
Wolves.
bizarre. Either way, so yeah, so Hellscythe and Escher are there, and the Lord Inquisitor calls to order the meeting. He's like, we will now be discussing the promotion of members to Inquisitor. So, who would like to start? And he, one Inquisitor stands up, nominates an interrogator, and 2 more Inquisitors stand up and agree to the nomination. And you see an interrogator you've seen around. You've seen him being like making discussions, being very active during like the reports and the discussions for dealing with the Evidence Syndicate. And he gets promoted to Inquisitor. So the Lord Inquisitor calls him forward, does his speech of like being a member of the Inquisition, and you see some people, like some of the aides for him, come out and bring forth the Imperial Rosette, and it's the you'll see the symbol around it. It's basically like the large eye symbol with the skull on it, and he presents it. It's on a chain, and he just like has the newly minted Inquisitor kneel, and he places the chain around his neck and declares him to be Inquisitor. And I have a name.
Gloria.
Inquisitor Gonzalo.
Cool.
Fancy.
He has been by the authority of the God Emperor of Man, our Lord Eternal. We grant you the full rank and privileges of a member of the Inquisition. And let's see here. So, who else? And so you see this happen for like 2 other people. And actually, I want everyone to make a scrutiny roll as well.
Okay. That one rolled. I'm gonna fate that.
Okay.
I'll fate that.
And now the second one
Fine,
isn't
because I
going.
think we want one of these.
Oh,
never
there it
mind.
goes.
Never mind. I won't fate that.
Okay, I got it.
We only need one of them, probably.
Okay.
Question mark.
Yeah, so Watchmaker, you look over to Selena Escher, and for the most part, her face is a mask. Like, she's not, like, smiling or, like, really frowning or anything, but you do...
A tiny bit of steam leak out of her ear.
You
Just a
do
little.
see just, like, a little bit of twitch, like, at her eye whenever somebody, like, gets made, like, whenever, like, an interrogator gets promoted to Inquisitor, just a little just tell that she's like not happy with this. And the Lord Inquisitor finishes with Lord Inquisitor Mars finishes with the last the three. If we have, I'm sorry.
How often do these happen? Like the promotions?
They would happen during every conclave. Well, not every conclave, but they would happen generally during a conclave. And from what you've been able to gather, it would be you need one Inquisitor to nominate somebody to be a member of the Inquisition, and then you would need more Inquisitors to actually agree to like the nomination. At which point they would be the Lord Inquisitor could say yes or no.
So when would the next one be? Like, just assuming.
The next one be years.
10 years.
It would definitely be years from now. They don't have conclaves very often. So it would just be like it would definitely be a while. Selena is looking at like not getting this promotion for.
This really sucks for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's definitely not happy, and with the Lord Inquisitor looking over is like, if we have no other members who are looking forward to being promoted to the ranks of His Most Holy Inquisition, and see he looks over at Hellscythe very briefly, like, then we will release this from our meeting early, and we will prepare free discussion for tomorrow. And actually lets out pretty early. The whole, like, getting everyone promoted to Inquisitor takes a couple of hours. They have to, like, do a very, like, ceremonious thing. But it goes pretty quickly, and it actually is done before lunch. So you actually get started with an early lunch. And you just see Selena's actually one of the first people out the door.
Understandable.
Yes. And
We should sit with her at lunch and try to raise her spirits.
I feel like she would actually murder us if she had her weapons on her.
After that pie, I would not be anywhere near her.
But so you get let out during the lunch, and
I'm surprised Hussar didn't nominate her to play against Hellscythe.
yeah, Hussar, you can't. Well, Hussar was there. I mean, if you wanted to, you could do like a scrutiny roll to try and get a reading on him. This would be at like a -30.
No, I mean like when the
I guess it
Lord Inquisitor stared at Hellscythe that Hussar didn't nominate Selena for him, and then put him on the spot.
Well,
isn't that something he could have done?
Oh, he could have done, yeah, but
he could have. But I think having another Inquisitor working against him, with close ties to Hellscythe, would have been more harm than getting the barb in on, and/or compromising her career long term.
Yeah, from what you can suspect from Hussar, it was definitely something he could have done, but he didn't in this case.
And did Sutton get put forward?
No.
Nope.
Okay, good.
Scrutiny -30, you said?
Yeah.
I guess I'll try.
Yeah, I guess it is worth a try.
It did not. Okay. How late was that?
Oh, I didn't crit fail.
Yep.
Like, go over and, like, start tracing the lines on his cheeks with your finger to try to figure out if they're lie lines.
Yeah, you're not able to get a read on Sutton. Sutton or Hussar.
Gar was
Damn,
Gar
yeah.
was better than me.
Yeah, they're both pretty
We suck.
trained
We're all
and
plus 10.
they're both pretty well trained and experienced with keeping what they're thinking in check. And so you're just not able to get like a good read on them during the promotions. They both really just sat as they were and didn't make any like no tells or anything that you could see that would indicate how they felt one way or another. But so it's lunchtime right now. Everyone is having like lunch, And with the fact that the promotions went by pretty quickly, no upsets beyond what's like you've already been told about. That everyone's really looking forward to just like a free like rest of the day before they do like the free discussion starting tomorrow. And you actually during the lunch you'd see Champernon and Alda Thorn, and they have rejoined the rest of the Acolytes, the rest of Sutton's Acolytes, who are mostly not spread out mingling with people, but are kind of like sticking together in their own group.
Good job, watchmaker.
And
So no attempts by Champernon or Thorn to communicate with us at lunch?
no attempts. Just
Do we see them?
you see them. Yep,
Yeah,
they're right there.
We did see him, yeah.
And they do look over to you every once in a while, but for the most part, Sutton is kind of sticking close to them.
He has the suspicion.
All right. I guess we'll have to try and find a way to meet up with them later.
So, but during lunch, it's basically like the Inquisitors talking to one another. A lot of people going to the newly promoted Inquisitors and shaking hands, more or less just congratulating them on their promotion to Inquisitor. But for the most part, it's pretty lively. Nothing too out of the ordinary from what you've seen before or expect. And you do see Hellscythe talking to Selena Escher. You don't, if you wanted to, you could get closer over here, but
I'll give her some respectable distance, but I won't. I will try to listen in, just not overtly. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, go ahead and make like an awareness to see if you could like stand close and overhear what they said.
Okay, I attempted the roll. It'll come out in 1d6 years, so I'll just roll manually.
Okay.
Can I try? Can I also try?
Yeah, you can both make awareness rolls if you wanted to.
And let me check my modifier.
There we go. Nice.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so it was just a flat roll then, because I think you're trained in awareness, but no pluses.
I've got +10.
Oh, okay, so it'd be like.
I already factored it.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah.
I just did a characteristic test plus.
Oh, wow, nice. All right. Well, either way, you pass.
Yay.
So you're able to overhear Hellscythe talking to Selena, just say, "I am sorry, but we've discussed this, and it's better for your career in the long run that we miss this promotion. And I can't even be sure that had you been nominated, that Hussar would have actually upheld his end of the bargain." And Selena's just like, she's just like very terse. "Yes, I understand. Thank you, Luther." And she actually does see you and Tigo listening in, and she just heads over towards you, and she actually puts her hand on your shoulder, on Toke's shoulder, and is like, "This is because of Hussar. Ism, you almost died for this, and it didn't even come to anything. I do wish to apologize to you as well." And then she just leaves and heads back to the ship.
Aww.
It's about as good as we can expect, really. Or she's just planning, like, to make my life a living hell for the next 10 years until she gets her next shot at Inquisition.
Damn, you are like...
All because of that fucking pie.
You really would be a good Inquisitor. You're freaking suspicious of everyone. But it's good.
No, I'm assuming she's professional. She wouldn't get far enough for Hellscythe to consider her if she wasn't actually good at the job when she's not teasing us. I honestly kind of thought she would appreciate. Maybe in retrospect, she'll appreciate my condolences because it's just such a dick move. It feels like the sort of thing she would do to us.
Yeah, probably.
She'll laugh about it someday while she's.
It's like one of those things where
While she's flaying you.
In the moment,
She was ready to commit murder.
But like looking back on it, like okay, that was funny. Yeah.
We'll all laugh years from now.
I laughed. She laughed. The wiretap under the table laughed. We shot the wiretap.
Like, looking back at it, it's funny. Now I kind of regret having Watchmaker like sealed up in like an empty room
and then shot into space.
Okay. So, but for the most part, the lunch goes nothing exciting or anything spectacular happening towards it or anything suspicious that you can see. But did you want to do anything during the lunch?
Just probably play low profile. We did just make a big play, and we have to play it cool. I'll try to read the temperature of the room again, just kind of.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sense of how people are doing.
Make an inquiry.
Okay. Still not a Viking at those. Quite the opposite, in fact. Every time I've made an untrained roll, it's been like 50 or 51 today.
Well, at least it's in the middle.
Yeah.
But you're not able to really get a good read of the room beyond. It just seems like normal. It just seems like it has been.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's basically just like a long lunch, and eventually people just kind of like break apart, go back to their rooms, or just go to like the various meeting rooms to have like discussions, but with nothing structured for the rest of the day. Most people just go back to their own rooms, do their own things, or are just talking to one another. It's a rare free moment for members of the Inquisition where they can't actually be out and about doing what they're like doing their job, but at the same time don't have anything like planned out for them. But
this means, guys, pie stealing time.
Well,
my only worry is that because it let out so early, Shempernon might be at risk of either getting discovered or just not having enough time. But I don't know how we're going to possibly address that, because I think it would be too overt to try to distract Sutton while he's still on station for lunch.
All right. Well, you do see Hellscythe on the station, and he's talking to a few. Really, he's talking to Inquisitors Galena and Tiberius. But for the most part, he's not seeking you out, and you don't see Champernon or Alda Thorn. You did see them heading back to the section of the station that has been set off for a Hussar. If you want to do anything with that. But you see Hussar and Sutton, and they're actually not at that section. You do see them talking to various people throughout the station as well.
What do you guys think? I guess we didn't properly set up a way to get back in touch with us, but I mean, we're also interrupted.
Yep.
Maybe we can come up with a way to distract Sutton and Hussar so that they're tied up with something, and we can then talk to our people.
Tie their shoelaces so they fall.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank, unfortunately. I almost wonder if we could lean on Hellscythe, because after I'm going to guess a lot of the tension and politicking is kind of done with after the nominations are done. Like, that's kind of what a lot of people's gambits throughout have been building up to. So maybe we could use him to speak with Sutton. Maybe speak to Hussar about what was up with the hostility from Sutton last night. I don't expect you to tell me everything, but, you know, if nothing else, we're professional equals. We should come to an understanding if this is going to impact our collaboration on this investigation moving forward, that kind of thing.
You do. Hellsight did say that you could go to him for any assistance you needed.
So yeah, I'll go to him and ask if maybe he can talk to Hussar and Sutton and kind of emphasize that just a little bit to make it clear what I'm really aiming for, and then lay out the plan for him to ask about what the hell was going on with Sutton snapping at us.
Well, mostly you, I think, because you were the one that would talk
at me, yes,
Yeah.
but I'm still playing this completely innocent, like we're not investigating into him.
Yeah.
Hellsight thinks for was like, I could definitely ask them. I've been keeping a bit of distance between Hussar and myself. But yes, if you have a plan in place, I could distract them by speaking with them.
Okay, well, we've got the distraction. Now we just need the plan to justify it.
Well,
Were we basically just going to drop in on, or go over toward that end of the station where they're quartered and see if we can get any info?
Are you speaking to Hellsight still, or?
No, I'm asking out of character to the guys.
Yeah, I mean, if we can have them tied up for a little while, we should be able to go.
If nothing else, we can get closer, so Champernon, either if he's in trouble, we can intervene, or if he's got information for us, we can receive it faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Hellsight's waiting for the plan, like when you're in place, before he goes over to talk to Hussar and Sutton to distract them.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I just need to get some water.
Okay. All right. So while Watchmaker is getting some water, did Tigo and Gardefel want to do anything?
I think everything's accounted for the most part. It feels like right now we're in like in a straight away tunnel at this point, trying to just get the conclusion of our inquiry.
There's definitely a lot you could do, but yeah, it's one of those like things where the Inquisition's a little more
Linear?
not linear, but like they don't want you to see all the branches, like all the places you could go.
You are in a straight hallway. Do not try to go in through this locked door.
But really, you could just pick the lock, so to speak, to continue this analogy.
Yeah, I has multi-key.
I has multi-pass. All right.
Yeah, I guess we could do that, and then I guess...
Okay. So if you want to just let Hellsight know to go speak to Sutton and Hussar now.
Might as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we can just keep an eye out as we make our way over there.
So he just, you give him the nod, he gives you a nod, he heads over to Hussar Sutton and starts to speak to them. They're about 20 meters away from you, so you see them talking, but you can't overhear what they're saying exactly. But he is positioning himself so that their backs are towards the hallway that would lead to the section of Station Hecate where they have their rooms set up.
Okay. So, let's go.
Let's do this.
If we can go there indirectly first, like if we could leave through another exit and then go around the hallway, we will. But otherwise, let's just head straight in.
Yeah, so make like a stealth roll. Everybody who's going, make a stealth roll.
Okay. Let's see if it wants to roll it.
And make it with a +10 because you are actively going out of your way to like obscure where you're going.
So agility. And
Wow, nice.
+10 for trained. +10.
Yours went out.
Oh, it went out.
Yep.
Wow, critically.
Yep.
So that would be against 66 with the additional +10.
Okay.
If I miss stealth, we're stealth. There's stealth.
Yeah, because both the critical success and the fact that more succeeded than failed, with the group
We got
stealth
you,
roll.
Gar.
Yeah, so you're able to.
Gar will walk in between the two of you, and you can shield him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
They like both Tigo and Watchmaker give help Gar kind of like go around like the various halls.
Not so much.
Yeah, and so you're able to like kind of guide each other to the section of the station where Hussar has set up the rooms. And so when you get there, you do see it is basically like a section of rooms that are it's a long hallway, and it's doors to rooms. It's sort of like a hotel with making like an L shape where it goes before turning, and so there's rooms along like all the halls. There's doorways along the hall that lead into their own separate room around an L, and so you do see that Hussar has set up guards at the one of the rooms, which you suspect to be his room. But the other rooms are not actually, the doors themselves aren't being guarded.
Okay. I assume they're not labeled or anything either.
No, they wouldn't be. They don't have any nameplates or anything. They don't even have numbers.
Any way to no like windows or anything to see through them?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, let's see what we can get at. Just make sure there's any. If the guards are just standing there, then we don't have to worry about patrol patterns or anything.
Yeah, you've seen like station guards here or there, but these are specifically Hussar's guards.
Okay.
You want to just knock on a door? Or?
I mean, we can try to get in sneaky-like, and just see what doors are available to us that we can reach. You know.
Okay. So you want to sneak into one of the rooms, or do you want to like sneak by and? Well, what are you all three doing specifically?
Well,
Gar can distract guards if you want.
I think we should save that for Plan B because I feel like the guard default posture is going to be "You shouldn't be here. Get out now."
Yeah.
I'm kind of trying to see if there's any suspicious noises or like.
Their immortal souls for a while. You know?
I'm just trying to think if there's any way we can tell the layout. We can maybe listen in and eavesdrop a bit.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was any noises.
Basically, like either we can find a way we can learn what rooms are what, or we just have to basically start picking doors at random, like starting with whatever we can reach without getting detected.
There are ways for you to like determine who's in what room. Did you want to actually like press your ear to a door and listen?
If there's any that are just there that are well out of view, yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah. So around the corner of the L-shaped hall, there are 3 doors. So if you want to just like press your ear to them, or like even just knock on them randomly.
Awareness.
Yeah. Go ahead, make an awareness.
Aw. Do I need to do just one check or one?
It would be 1 per door.
All right, so I'm not gonna fate that yet because I've only got 1 more for the session.
Okay.
I'll try the next one.
I can
Try
try
the ones like right behind me.
Let me see.
Maybe the dice will fucking have some chill for the 3rd door.
So I'll do the ones.
I've rolled it. Let's see if it goes through.
It does seem like it's kind of weird how sometimes it will go instantly like it should, or sometimes it just waits.
Yeah, I just did one. I'm waiting.
Maybe Roll20 is getting hammered by people playing because they can't go out anymore.
It's possible, yeah. I mean,
if it, I doubt they've got the resources to upgrade their infrastructure the way. There we go.
Alright,
regular
so
time.
I will fate the second one. That's for the second door he failed. Or wait, what? Okay. Let's see if I can do this.
All right. Close, but yeah, just a. But two of
I
you.
heard on the 3rd door, and you heard on the 1st, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So on the first door that Tigo is listening to, you just hear like metal banging against metal.
Doesn't sound like
Like
a room.
tink, like just kind of a rhythmic like, and then you kind of get the idea like, oh, it sounds familiar. It's like sword fighting with dull blades.
Oh Lord!
And then you
Okay, so we
realize,
found her room.
and Watchmaker, you actually hear you hear like the clicking of a cogitator. Like it's
That
very.
sounds like that might be our room.
Yep. So you just hear like the very like rhythmic gears moving, clicking, like the hum of a cogitator that is just like working. So
Let's kick down that door. I mean, knock on it.
Or just try to quietly open it.
guard detail just kicks open the door. It's like, we have come subtly.
Stealth.
We have come
That
to
is
speak
not
to you
subtle.
quietly.
So yeah, we'll I'll see if I can get that door open.
All right. So the door is locked. So if you wanted to like pick the lock and like open it up to make a security roll.
I'll let Tigo try because I ain't gonna pass.
Yeah. So making like kind of like trying to open it up, you do realize it's locked.
30. Okay. Where's security? And we wait.
And now we play the waiting game.
Excellent.
Yeah, I
Let me
guess.
see. What is it?
Yeah.
That would be agility, I think. Anyway, let me see.
Yeah.
Where is it? Security, agility, plus 30.
Stupid roll 20. Work better. There you go. Wow, 37
Nice.
versus 71. Wow, jeez. Why did it plus? Oh, that's right, because you have all that stuff.
I pass on both of them anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're able to just like very quickly and easily like pop open the lock in this door.
Like Watchmaker waves me over and like pop out the multi-key.
And I will.
All right, are you entering in stealthily?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make stealth rolls.
I'm thinking basically just like before we even enter, like open the door enough to see who's inside, and then. All right. I will do agility plus 10 manually.
Okay.
Good, barely.
Yeah. So this was your stealth roll.
Yeah.
All right. This you passed, but it was an opposed test, and
Yeah.
but you opened the door, and despite Tigo being able to pop it open, he just doesn't quite able to get it quietly enough, and you see Champerton look over. Is like, "Hello, what are you doing here? The door was locked. I'm very confused. What's going on?"
Scrutiny.
Do a scrutiny roll.
And now we wait.
And now...
Actually, I'll, perception plus 10. Oh, there it goes. Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Behind him.
Yeah, anybody wants to can just roll like a scrutiny.
I think I'll fate that, because
Okay.
I'm immediately suspicious.
Tigo
Jesus.
fails.
Son of a pig fucking whore. Every fucking time.
So...
Oh, there you go. That's
There
fine.
we go. Jesus.
I faded it.
All right.
I
Nice.
couldn't.
Of course, it's still opposed.
It was... Well, yeah, basically, you get the idea that Champerton's a little weirded out by the fact that you just came over to his room and unlocked a locked door and are trying to sneak inside.
I'll say, sorry, but we,
Don't
weren't
be
sure.
alarmed.
I'm actually quite alarmed. What are you doing? I thought you were going to send me a message.
One time.
Fuck. So it got intercepted.
I don't. Did you actually send him the message? You sent him the message previously, or it's like I got.
We had our meetup in the.
Yeah,
See, we thought he was going to send us a message, but he hasn't yet, so we're checking up on it. That's basically what's going on.
Okay, I understand now. I had looked throughout Inquisitor Hussar's room while you were in the meeting. It ended a little earlier than I expected, so I wasn't able to find anything. But if he has the book, if we can find even a picture of the book, then that will be useful, because in his report he said he burned it. So if we find that it still exists, we can give evidence that shows that he had lied in an official report. That would put enough scrutiny on him that he would have to be investigated.
Okay.
Well, we know that much.
The question is,
where are we going to find such a picture, oh savant?
I'm not sure. I'll admit this leads into something I'm not strictly familiar with. My role is merely researching information and coming up with turning the raw data into actual usable knowledge.
Okay.
So, if I had to think about it, a heretical book. Yes. If I were to think about it, a heretical book would be somewhere. He would definitely keep it locked up somewhere, where nobody but himself or somebody trusted would be able to get access to it. But he wouldn't let it go very far, as he wouldn't want somebody to investigate it without him being aware. So
it would have to be in his room, don't you think?
It's most likely with him, yes, because if it's off their ship, then he might even keep it on his persons thinking about it, but it would be disguised, or it would be locked up somewhere.
Does he have one of those chain books on your belt?
Yeah, he has one of those. It is like a red covered book with chained to the actual armor he's wearing, but it is for the most part nondescript. As far as
Could be it.
It
could go back to my tripping in the hallways plan, guys. So Gar likes that plan.
Well,
let's assault his ass. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, the hard thing is getting access to him.
I mean, what if we could knock him out somehow? We could brew a sleeping draft.
What you're saying is he has an accident, slips, and we rush to help him in
and accidentally check out any books that happen to be on his person.
That
You would have to be super careful doing something like that.
Is there anything that would cause him to go for the book? What if we could stage a scene whereby he was convinced that we
had the book? We somehow got it away from him without him knowing?
Or that.
Do we have an idea what it looks like? The cover or anything like that?
You would have to look through inquisitorial records to see if there was any picture of the book. But you yourself don't know what it looks like. Actually, Gar has forbidden knowledge.
Might help with this.
Heresy, yeah.
Yeah, heresy. You could make a forbidden knowledge heresy roll to see if you might have an idea of what it might look like.
I do have an idea of what it might look like.
Okay, yeah. So the book itself would be a thick tome, and it would have been bound in a mutated xeno leather, and it's chained shut with a. It doesn't match, like from what you can remember, it doesn't match the book that he's carrying. So you're pretty sure it's not the book that he's keeping. It's not that specific book you can you can directly see on his persons.
Is the book on his person like big enough that it could have this inside of it, or?
Yes, the book on his persons is big enough that it could have
Be a false.
Yeah.
A book in a book type of thing.
Yep, it's big enough for that purpose, but it doesn't specifically match the one in his belt. But you also kind of think that would be maybe a little too on the nose. Although it'd definitely be like one of those things where it'd be like the purloined letter type of situation.
Mm.
Yeah, Champernon just says, I'll help you wherever I can. I mean, we have to be. I'm trying to help my protege Alda as best I can. I'm concerned that she's in trouble with what's going on with Hussar and Sutton.
Is there any way we could get her, you, or the both of you into our protection or even our retinue?
That's an interesting idea. Possibly. I mean, there would be no official capacity that your Inquisitor could recruit us, as we are already working for Hussar, but perhaps we'd have to work together again, maybe if we were to fake our death. I'm not. I must admit, maybe that's a little too fanciful. I'm not very used to this situation.
We could ask our Inquisitor. We still have a little bit more time in the conclave, right? Like a few more days of.
You suspect at least one more day after this.
We could talk to Hellscythe and get his input. But this is kind of risky all around.
It could also be where we end up working with them during this whole push that they're more open.
Oh yes, I imagine
that would be a more long term, like, I guess.
If there is in fact a long term we can get away with. I mean,
yeah.
We don't have time. Elevated to Inquisitor, but we still have a radical with a demon host and a heretical tome. No safe way or reliable way we could expose the lie.
Champernon just cuts in. I imagine we'd be working together again. I mean, the plan seems that you and Hussar would be focusing on infiltrating and subtle investigation of the Ebony Syndicate. I have to imagine our paths would cross again in the future. Well, Hussar and your paths, maybe not necessarily mine.
If nothing else, we've got one more day. We can get input from
Hellscythe.
Yeah, get Hellscythe's take on the situation and whether we can do anything for the two of them to protect them, or even headhunt them, and also whether we're going to have to play the long game with exposing the Hussar's heretical tome.
Yeah, if we have to play the long game, then we may have to play the long game.
Yeah, I mean, we're short of like bodily tackling him and hoping he's got it on his person. Like, there's
all other
it's
options.
It'd be very hard to get to an Inquisitor's person directly. There's no way we can do that without some sort of opening in place.
Yeah, Champion mentions like, yes, Sutton very rarely leaves the side of Hussar, and they often have other members of their acolytes, other trusted throne agents with him. So I don't know if necessarily recommend you attack him. I feel like that would be something that
immediately results in our deaths. Yes.
Yes, that most likely. Yes.
So let's at least report what we've got to Hellscythe again, and let him make the plan of action for. Do we need to get this done by the end of the conclave, or do we play the cooperative game?
That's the way to go. I mean, like, he's the man in charge. We should follow his lead as far as how urgent it is that we expose things now, or
Yeah, Inquisitors do things on a scale of like decades and centuries sometimes.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll be available if you need me. I must admit, I came a little before. I was going to send my message saying I hadn't found much, but.
Can we give him a microbead? Like, it's now that we got in, it would be easier to give him a microbead to get in touch with us.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they would probably be able to track that.
If you wanted to give him like a clean microbead, you could do so.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll just have like a basically the red hotline, either to us or even to Hellscythe directly.
Don't use this unless it's a life and death emergency kind of thing.
Oh, thank you. I'll attempt to hide it somewhere right now.
Please turn around and don't look.
Yeah.
You might get some weird signals for a while.
If you hear any weird rumbling sounds.
All right. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and. Or did you want to discuss anything else with Champernon? If you did, then do so now. Otherwise, just make like a stealth roll just to make sure you can get back without being seen.
I'll just tell him, like, if there's anything you need us to know either about you or protecting your protege, let us know. Otherwise, we'll just do our best effort from our end.
All right. If I can think of anything, I'll let you know. Not what I'm used to dealing with, I'll admit. But Alda is very important to me. I prefer to see that she be saved from Hussar. So I don't. Yes, I know she doesn't come off this way, but she is actually made of some sterner stuff. I'll be in touch with you if needed.
All right.
And now let's try to get out of here and see if the dice betray me again.
All right, everybody.
Hey, look, they betrayed me again.
Is it a group stealth?
It's a group stealth, yeah.
Use your stummer. Save our asses.
Might have to.
20. Oh god.
That was actually a good roll, aside from that.
Yeah, I got a 7 there, wow.
God, that sucks.
That is crazy. Well, at least you're helping. Let's see. Wow, I will fate that.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay. It was also an opposed test, and I rolled kind of crappy, so you do manage to sneak by out of the hall and into a sort of common section of the hallway where you see Hussar and Sutton.
Oh, hi there.
Acolytes.
Passing through.
Uh-huh. You're on your way back to your ship?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's, where we go.
All right. Well,
Ship, dining hall, meeting room. Those are the only places we go. Haven't been anywhere else.
make a deceive roll if you would.
I knew that was coming as soon as I heard you typing. Where's my deceive?
Definitely clicked it.
Even rolling like the standard dice doesn't quite like work. It's kind of weird. There's definitely a delay of like at least 10 seconds in some cases.
Yep.
So you rolled a 61 versus your what?
Oh no! What you would want to do is just roll a D100 without any modifiers.
Oh, right, because the plus is to the target, not the roll.
Yeah, it makes it easier for you to roll beneath it.
So I rolled a 51 against a 56, so that's a pass.
Okay. All right then.
My roll will show up in like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. All right, yeah. Guardian fell, you did fine.
Yeah, he's doing the talking though, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you for the dinner then, Acolytes. Actually, I think it'd be late enough in the... Yeah, it would be late enough in the day that, like...
We're dropping stuff off before we go to dinner.
Yeah. Take care, Acolytes. And they just leave and head back to their room.
We just came from...
Yeah. But you're away far enough that, like...
It's not suspicious.
Yeah, Yep. You're basically, like, in a hallway that leads... It does lead to their room, but it also leads to, like, a number of other locations. Including, like, restrooms. They're, like, literally just restrooms around. I don't know if you...
Oopsies.
I don't know if you necessarily want them to think that all three of you are together in the restroom at one time, but...
Just acolytes being dudes.
But... So you're able to have them leave and head back to their room. And heading back into, like, the common area, you see Hellscythe there. He's like, well, I certainly hope that your plan succeeded.
Yes and no.
More or less.
Yeah, I talked to them concerning Aldathorn and the outburst the other day.
Any insight from that?
They told me to mind my own business.
Not par for the course.
Well, honestly, it went better than I expected, so I can't really complain. Here, let's head back to my ship. You can give them your report, and then we'll go and get dinner.
Sounds good. And we will, once we get on the ship, fill him in and let him know how the conversation went and how we're at the point where we would basically have to get physical access to Hussar in order to confirm or deny whether he's got the book. And we wanted to get our heads together before the end of the conclave, whether we want to rush him now or play to the collaborative game during the investigation of the Amity Syndicate.
Yeah, Hellscythe just thinks for a moment. Yes. I'll admit, I was hoping that we could get some information during this conclave, but that was mostly wishful thinking. No, I think this is going to be a situation where we are going to have to do a long-term investigation of Hussar. I think it's best that we focus on pretending that we no longer suspect him of anything and attempt to collaborate more closely with him to get additional information. As for if he'll believe that or not, well, I suppose it doesn't matter because we have the word of the Lord Inquisitor that we need to work to one another, so he really has no recourse but to work with us.
Okay, that's
it's a
reasonable.
start. And
Not bad.
most investigations, especially of an Inquisitor, are long-term affairs, so I suspect we're going to be in the long haul. We do need to be careful. If he does have a demon host, they could be providing him information. Hopefully it won't want to reveal any information. From what I know of demon hosts, they resent being bound and forced to work for mortals, so...
Well, we're also in a psionically suppressed facility, aren't we? Wouldn't that also affect the ability to give him information that went down here?
Oh, yes. No, definitely. This is probably the best spot for us to provide... well, let's be honest with one another. It's the best spot to conspire against Hussar. The demon host would not be able to, from whatever site from whatever site Hussar is keeping the beast at, it wouldn't be able to peer inside and spy upon us. So, but once we're out, is a little trickier. Fortunately, we have a black ship, and it is psionically suppressed. So anything that we discuss on the ship, especially in the lower levels, will be hidden from divination. But I think we've made good progress here. I'm hoping I won't go ahead and say that I think that this conclave has gone successfully, and I'm always prepared for a nasty surprise, but it has gone smoother than I was expecting, which is good. But it's not done yet, so be on your guard, but I think we are making good headway on this.
Okay.
And actually, but did you want to do anything else? Because if not, I think it might be a good time to call it for the day. Because we've been playing for about 2 hours now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
A clean break point and finish up the conclave.
Yeah.
Such.
You got through without too much trouble there, actually. I mean, despite a few bad rolls, you managed to more. You get, I think you got actually more good rolls than bad rolls. I think you actually
On
made
utility.
It's usually the timing of the bad rolls. That,
Yeah.
It's like roll this to succeed at the campaign. You got a 99.
I was expecting like us to completely blow the stuff out and everything just come.
Yeah,
To
go
shit.
completely to fucking hell.
No, I
Well,
think.
luckily we were smart and careful enough, and hedged our bets when we needed to. I think.
Yeah.
Because we definitely could have blown the whole thing up really badly if we weren't careful.
Yep.
No, I think it went as good as could be, expected from this. So I will end this, and so 2 hours, everybody gets 200 XP.
Oh.
And if you want to if you want to purchase any upgrades to skills or characteristics or get some talents, just let me know. Text me or send me an IM or something.
Start to build up XP again. There's probably a couple things.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll see each other next week.
Yes.
Wonderful.